Sorry guys, I started this project and actually normally I don't film with my camera, I film with my iPhone, but I don't know where I left the piece that allow me to have the iPhone like hand-free. So yeah, so I decided to start it anyway, and then I thought, okay, maybe I can try to film it with a camera. So that's why I'm working on it now, and it's like the core has been made and I'm doing the second layer. So what I'm making is I'm making a little squirrel. I think that's going to be for my Momonita, so that's a little squirrel with a nut in his hand. So that's the plan. So that's a kit I got at Daiso. I have a lot of kits at the moment. I think I have like 4 or 5 more to make after this one, and I haven't been making any felting video in a while, so I was thinking, okay, I really need to get on with the felting. Like, I bought basically one of each kit that they had at the store twice, and I haven't been working on any of it because it takes like 3.5 to 4 hours for this project, so I never really have like that much of time in a row. So yeah, since I didn't make a video today, I said, okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can do something about it. And yeah, so I'm squirreling. So now it's for the head, and I need to have a ball. It's kind of 3 by 3, but it needs to be 2.5 at one end and 3 at the other. It's like sort of oblong shape, not really round, not like a little bit triangular. So I need to, so basically here I have 3, here I have 3, if you want to see. This is around 3 in this direction, so I cannot push too much in this direction here. This is around, it's a little bit more than 3, so I can flatten it a little bit more. And here on this side it needs 2.5, and it's about there at the moment. But I really want to have it like go smoothly, not like I want it to be like even on every single side, because I'm not really sure, like, and I want it to go like on a sort of rounded line, so I need to adjust that a little bit. So that's what's going on at the moment, and I'm going to like fast forward because I don't want to have like a 3.5 hour videos just for the felting. So I'm gonna just keep going, keep filming, and then make it go faster.
So I decided this time, instead of having like a music video, I'm going to make a sort of commentary on what I'm doing. So you have to start with the head, and you create a ball which is called the core. And then you're going to add one more layer, which is what I'm doing now, to actually give it the shape. Like if you want to have cheeks, or if you want to have like, at the moment I'm making like the bottom is going to be larger because the squirrel has big cheeks, and then the top is going to be thinner because it doesn't have big cheek at his forehead basically. So that's the first part I'm doing, and then once it's done, I'm starting on the body. So first you have to spread out the fiber so that you are able to actually create the shape that you want. If you want it long, you can have it long. If you want it short, you have to push more the needle into the fiber to make it shorter. So I start always by spreading the fiber so that I can shape whatever I actually want, and then I roll it to make those little tubes. And basically the body is like way smaller than the head, and it's like a little tube, and it's center at the top because it's kind of defined neck of the squirrel. And the body actually took me a very long time because I had like a lot of fiber, maybe a little bit too much. So when I just shape and push my needle again and again and again, and it didn't actually reach the amount of centimeters that I wanted it to look like. So I had to keep going and keep going. The thing is, the more you're going to push the needle, the better the shape is going to be defined, and the harder the thing you're making is going to be. So you need to find a balance between pushing it a lot and not enough. And then I added a few fibers at the top to be able to attach it at the head. You can just leave the fiber out in one side, but because I had too much, maybe it was a little bit difficult to keep the fiber all out if I wanted the right shape. So I added a little bit more fiber to attach it to the head. And then I decided that I was not really happy with the shape of body and head together, so I sort of reshaped, like emphasizing the neck, made the head a little bit shorter, so that it would look cuter on the body, that type of thing. So that's what we're seeing now, like me kind of getting a little bit perfectionist and actually like fixing every little mistake that I saw in my shape. And it took me another like little while because I was really not happy with the shape, and I wanted the squirrel to already have big cheeks before I had a white part, so you're gonna see that later. Then I started on the ears. The ears is probably the part that I like the less. If I have to pick one, it's going to be the ears because I always make them too big, and I think it's because I take way too much fiber every time I make ears. So my ears on all my animals are sort of too big. So this time is like not exception. My ears are a little bit too big, and it's very difficult. Like because I don't have a mat, as you can see, because I'm stupid and I didn't buy a mat yet, despite having made like a lot of animals. So I'm just like making it in between my finger, and then it's very difficult to make like very tiny little shape like ears. So as you can see, I keep out like the ears, and I sort of have like at the bottom a sort of fluffiness because I want to attach the ears to the body without adding more fiber because I already have too much. So that's what's going on with my ears at the moment. And they always take me a while despite being so small because I want them to be like also exactly the same, so I need to go from one to the other and like rectify the details to make sure they look alike. And I ended up still with one a little bit bigger than the other, so I had to fix it after putting it on the head, which was annoying me a little bit more. So then when you are done with the ears, you put like the little color inside. So this one, for this project, it was all brown, so I have these brown fibers that I put around, and this time, like when I make detail normally I always use too much, and I think I use again too much for the ears, but because I noticed it, I decided that I was going to like do it very well for the rest of the project. So this is probably the last time I'm actually using too much fiber. I think this video marked a time where I made a lot of improvement with myself about the amount of fiber that I'm actually using, because at the beginning of the project I started too much, and I'm going to rectify that as I go. So this is really maybe a turning point in my filtering career, and I think it's kind of funny to see it like happening because like it was too much, and then I'm going to have the proper amount directly. And I think it's easier to actually have like start with a small amount and add more later, which is something you're going to see when I actually do the decoration on the project later. Then you have to make the legs and arms of the squirrel. So basically I couldn't really have them really hard because the squirrel is going to be holding an acorn, so you have to keep them sort of smooth. So you can see I have like the fluff at one side to be able to attach it to the body, and the tip is still not very hard because I want to push some of the fiber of the hands inside the acorn. So you need to be careful when you're doing a project that is holding something. I had a hedgehog with an apple before, and my apple keep on falling from the hedgehog. I'm not attaching the apple to the hedgehog anymore, but I think I want to try and keep the acorn on the squirrel. So I just make it so that I have enough fiber to enter the acorn later. So on this project, the good thing was that the leg and the arms were about the same size, so I just made them all the same size indiscriminately, so it was a lot easier, and I didn't have to measure them all the time. I just like check them against each other, and it worked a lot better than when I have like different size for legs and arms and stuff. And then I'm attaching them to the body. So you can see I use like the fluffy part and I put it on the side of the body and I just press my needles through. And so the fiber of the arms and fiber of the leg just enter the body, and so it's attached. And it's not attached too strongly so that I can move the arms around, so that if my acorn is big, I can have the legs and arm open wide, and if my acorn is small, I can have them like smaller on the acorn, like closed a bit more on the acorn. So I'm sorry I go out of the screen sometimes, depending on how I'm pushing the needle in, so yeah. Then I take the opportunity to sort of try and reshape a little bit the squirrel, and then of course I have to make a tail. So the tail actually needs to be very fluffy, so I just roll it first instead of like pushing the needle through. I like to have like this big roll to go through so that the fluffiness of the fiber at the top kind of stay fluffy, if that makes sense. So I just shape the tail so that it's sort of long. It needs to be like as long as a squirrel, so that the squirrel sort of have a balance. And it needs to be like, the shape of a squirrel tail, so sort of like thin at the bottom near his ass, and it's going to be wider a little bit at the top. So that's what I'm going for. It didn't work all that well. It ended up more like a rectangle in the end, because like after putting it down, I just pressed a little bit too much on it. But still, so I just like put it on the squirrel, and then I just adjust every side to make it sort of symmetrical. But I think it could have been a bit fluffier. Like I could have put more fiber and made it like a little bit bigger at the center. That would have been maybe a little bit cuter. But I'm still okay with that result. It's not too bad. So I just like keep on going and like adjust everything, reshape the squirrel wherever I can, and then it's time to put on the white cheeks. So I just take some white felt and just press it on the cheeks, so in two different areas, because you have the right cheek and the left cheek, so I just like make two balls of white felt basically and press it down on the cheeks. And that sort of make a fluffy face for the squirrel, and I'm pretty happy with that.
So guys, I only have to put on the eyes and to put the decoration. He has like stripes on him, so, and there is the acorn that I need to make as well. So that's what it looks like so far. So I already made all. I don't know how much you saw because the camera stops very often, and I don't know if I actually show that to you. So I just made like holes for the eyes, and so I can put the eyes on. So let's stop and get started later on the rest.
So now it's time to finally put on the nose and the mouth and the sort of stripes that he has on his body. So as you can see, I have like a very tiny amount of fiber. I think my very first one I had like this big huge nose, because I was trying to use all the fiber that comes with the kit, and I think that was a mistake. You really don't need that much. So now I just put like little stripes and just use like a very tiny amount of fiber, and I add more if I need to, so you're going to see that later. I just add more as I go. So I started with the middle stripes on his body to make sure that it's really in the middle, and then I just put like one on each side, so that was a little bit easier to put the one on the side when the one in the middle was already made. So I just like, because the fiber is very short, so I just take a little bit and then put it down on the top of his head and down to his body, and then I have to like get some more fiber and add it to make like those lines. So this squirrel ended up with 3 lines, which was exactly the same as what was said in the description. So I just put more and more, and at the end I wanted to have like a better definition at the top of the head. So I just took the fiber, folded it into, and just pressed down from the top of the head and until the neck. And once again, I'm a little bit off camera, sorry guys. So yeah, so that's what I did. Maybe I should have done that at the tip of the tail, but I didn't. I just have like the fiber sort of gathering there. It's a little bit messy, I guess. I could maybe always go back later and try that, so giving a better definition near the head. And basically that's it. So you have to actually take a little bit of fiber and press it down all the way, and you cannot just press at different points. So this is kind of what it looks like when the squirrel is finished. So that's a finished squirrel by itself. My camera doesn't focus, so then I had to start on the acorn. So it's a dark brown acorn and it has like a beige hat. So I had to stop to have dinner in the middle of it. So I just make a core for the acorn and then shake the sides of it and then put more fiber all around and press down to have like this sort of rounded acorn shape. And it didn't take too long, I guess, because it's kind of like a very tiny piece. But I wanted it to be like very round and sort of flat at the top so that I can put the hat more easily. So for the hat I took like fiber and I turned it around to make the edge of the hat very defined, and then I would start off like keep on turning it around so that I would cover the top of the acorn, and that was with the first little tiny bit of felt, and then I added more felt to just cover really all the acorn that you don't see any dark part at the top where the hat is. And then I decided that it needed a little tail, so I just kind of made a little tail in the middle, and then I rolled some fiber around the center to make the tail a little bit thicker, and I just turn and press down so that all the fiber would like sort of make that little tail. I could have actually created a little tail first and then add it at the top of the acorn. That would maybe have been a little bit easier. And then, as I said before, the legs and ends are sort of smooth still, so I just pressed them down, press the fiber around, threw them to the acorn, and that's it. So here is a finished squirrel with his acorn, so you can see the stripes on his tail and back and head, on his face, on the acorn, in his hands, and that's it basically. He's got like funky shaped ears.